Hexagons come off as they go up in frequency. Now watch, this matters because it switches to a from a pentagon to a hexagon as we go up. We're combining the waves. Sawtooth, square wave, and sine, and we go up and up. Now this shape matters because that 6-sided shape and that 5-sided shape, I showed it to you over at Micronesia. It was 5-sided. Here's 5-sided. And on the right side of this is a star fort that's made of 6-sided hexagonal rock. So let's show you. Let's get some pictures. Here we are. Now this is huge. So this is a palm tree, and a person would be small in this door. These are large hexagonal columns. These are rock that are stacked, and it's shaped in the shape of an ancient star fort. Look at these. This is volcanic rock that's 6-sided. Now this matters. This really matters, this 6-sided and 5-sided thing. So why does it matter? Here's the 5-sided with the 6-sided on the side. And we're going to go over to the United States. We're going to look at the United States the way I've showed it to you before. We're going to turn off all our borders and labels and gobbledygook and just look at the USA itself. And when you look at the USA this way, you've got Florida on the right side, and you've got Nunavut, Canada on the left side, and it comes out to a point. You see it's broken apart and filled with water on the left side. But you'll see it matches and corresponds to Florida. And then you'll see we have 2 more points off the east coast of Newfoundland, one of which is blown out and gone. The other still remains. And this matters because on the tip of Florida, oh, and by the way, if you measure from up here to down here, back to here, across, back up, and back over, first of all, it's a perfect symmetrical 5-sided pentagon that's also triangular in shape overall, but it's pentagonal overall if you count the back. But out at the tip, out here, remember what I said about the hexagons at the tips? It's over at Nan Madol. This was supposedly built in the Civil War, which it wasn't. That's the cover story for this even being here. And during the Civil War, they came in and I think just carved out the spots to put cannons in. You wouldn't need cannons because obviously you're in the Florida Keys and the water's too shallow for anybody to even come close. But I mean, we're literally, you could wade it, you could walk in this water all the way out. But this brick and style is Byzantinian. They put a microwave transmitter on it too. But this is on the dry Tortugas out at the tip of the Florida Keys. And they said they built it during the Civil War to protect the Gulf. Look where it is, though. It's at the very tip of the Florida Keys, all the way out there. A hexagonal on the edge of the pentagonal, which is also the triangular, and then that ties in with all the other star forts. That shape that I showed you, it goes back down. We'll go back to the video. Wait, where is it? And go back to here, where it goes from circular into star. From star, you'll see it pop off. You'll see the shape come in. One more time. Take it back. It goes from smooth. And I really think that the music program is just revealing what frequencies, whatever that would be, would look like if you combined the shapes. And it's combining shapes. Now, it could be chance that this program, the computer program that's controlling the oscilloscope here, it could be chance that it's cycling through these shapes just by chance based upon the frequency that it's going through. So, if you go up and through, I don't know, 5 kilohertz, all of a sudden creates pentagons, and you go up through 6 kilohertz and it's going to create hexagons. But that could stand true for the shapes that we're seeing that they built, that somebody built a long time ago, the same principle of projecting a frequency, a combination of all three kinds of waves that we know of. Then it goes up from there and it gets into, again, the video is called Shrooms, and that's stupid, but we go up into several cymatic shapes. So let's go look at cymatic shapes. Cymatic sand, for instance. And what you do is you sprinkle out small particles of sand or salt onto a shake plate or a flat piece of anything and put it above a speaker and then generate sound. Generate sound, and as you go up in frequency, it divides and makes shapes. And this is not due to the speaker. The speaker can be any shape. It's the sound that creates the shape of the particles. So you see these shapes in church glass, but much bigger in size. So like this, for instance, is in the Chartres Cathedral, that same, but those are resonance cavities. Ultimately, those are resonance cavities. And resonance cavities are when you use resonance cavities, well, we use those to generate microwaves. You put in electricity to those and out come radio waves. But these shapes, the point is the shapes. So the cymatic shapes, I think a long time ago, somebody had a lot of power and a way to direct it to do this along with the oscilloscope, the actual tonnage, to control all the different types of electricity, if you want to think of different waveforms of electricity, to use them all together to do something like this down at the South Pole to power it all would be the giant 5-sided plate of Antarctica, which around the outside edge of Antarctica, it's 5-sided, symmetrical, 6,666 miles long from back to tip, and around the outside edge, it's 5-sided. I mean, it's indisputable it is. So this shape powering into the first plate, which is Asia and Europe, the second plate, which is North America, which I just showed you, and the third plate, which is South America, and then back into itself to complete the circuit around. Now this points out to something, and this points out to something, and this points out to something. All three plates point to something, and they don't just point anywhere. When you go into Spain and Portugal, you see that Spain and Portugal themselves make up a 5-sided pentagonal starfort shape with 2 additional spokes or star shapes that come off the edge. And this same shape here off Spain and Portugal is the next plate over, but much bigger, off of North America. The 2 fractal-like shapes that come off the tips of each plate. And those are fractal-like, but not from erosion. These were made a long time ago. But where does it point? This is going to blow your mind, but I'll show you anyways. Just go right out through the tip of it, and I'll show you where it points. It points to itself, back to its circuit. They all 3 connect to each other. I just showed it to you. They connect from down here, 5-sided, points into an avenue that literally goes into the side of India. Then you have your giant triangular shaped, well, again, it's both triangular and pentagonal. And it points out this way, which really curls around back to the chain, feeds back into itself. North America. We go out through North America. Whoops. Wow, it's not let. I'm having the mouse problems again. Hold on. I think I clicked on the wrong thing. I sure did. Where does it point? This gets into the last part of it, which is the other half of the planet, which is the Pacific and Africa. This points into the backside or the side of the missing plate, where if you were to look for it, you would see only half of it above, and that's Africa, and half of it is broken apart right down the middle with the mid Atlantic ridge and submerged. But the ancient plate is still visible there, and it's shaped just like Ascension Island was shaped, only way bigger from all the way back here in Africa out to the tip, pointing into the tip side of South America this way. And it is symmetrical from out at the tip here all the way back to the back side of it on both sides, right down the middle, and out to the edges. Whoops. To Madagascar and to Spain and Portugal. They match. And topping it all off, it's the same distance on both sides where it makes the bend. If you look at our distance, what is it? 5,300 miles and 5,300 miles. Whoops. 53 and 53. Or 54. Let me get that right. The curvature of the Earth is kind of messing with us a little bit and trying to, yeah, I mean, 5,300, 5,390 and 4. I mean, it's the same. It's eroded over time. But so this is the Atlantic here. And it's a hidden plate. Half of it is gone. That could be Atlantis. I don't know. But it is symmetrical. And if you measure from here to here, and then you measure from back here to here, it's the same on both sides and on the back. Let me do that with the United States. Watch this. Look at the United States. So if we go out here to the tip, right out here, and we measure all the way back to California. This is California over here. So let's just go down to the coast and make sure we got this. Here's San Francisco, but I mean, just right through the middle. We're just going to prove something to you here. What is that? 39.29. All right. And then that's just, I'm grabbing it off the coast out here. We could pull it from anywhere out off the tip of the coast. But what you're going to see is down at Mexico, 39.31. Hold on. It's to the mile. Okay, so 39.29 at its furthest point here, 39.29 at its furthest point here. And if we go all the way out here to where it makes the bend, right where it makes the bend too. I mean, there we go. 30, 39.38. I'm over measuring it here. 39.31. It's down to the mile. And then from point to point, out at the edge and out at the edge. I'm not doing this right, but there we go. Hold on. Something like 38. And I'm not doing it right. I'm not taking into account the bends and twists in the plate and that over time. So it's an equilateral triangle if you want to measure it like that. I mean, we could get it down to the mile probably, but it would be probably show that it's been eroded over time. And the same thing could be done for Europe if we measure from all the way up here at the tip. Whoops. All the way to the back side at India's tip. Curvature of the Earth really screws with us on this. Look how Google does that. I can't do anything about that either. So that's going to mess with us. But let's see, 5686. Is that even the tip? It's not. Hold on. Well, it's eroded. It's kind of hard to see. somewhere out here. This is where the international date line goes across. It's a matter of 200 miles difference. I mean, that to me, but the curvature of the Earth, look where it's taking us over Greenland. I wish Google would allow straight line measurements on the surface from point to point and allow us to take into account the curvature of the Earth because that's not accurate. Look how that's bending that. That's taking a path of least resistance on the line as if we're trying to measure longitude or something. And I'm trying to go along the edge of the plate. Look how much it's bending that. It should match up out here. What I'm complaining about is that it's while taking it over this way, it should be over this. We should be able to bend the line over it, over the edge of the plate boundary. Okay, so it's not going to match perfectly. What is it, 5,400 miles? It's 200 miles off from point to point. And if we go across, I think it's about the same. Where's that? 64. Now, that to me says that we're dealing with an equilateral triangle. When we're dealing with a missing 1,000 miles, the difference would be from here out to here. And I'm telling you, it's Google's look at that line. It's not even, it should be touching across perfectly, but it's not because that's stupid. And a path doesn't change it. Look, they're still bending it. Polygon doesn't change it. 3D path, hold on. Nope. It's not going to work. So I'm going to have a hard time proving my case to you that they're equilateral trying to measure on Google Earth when we really need a flat map, I guess. Need to get that out. A flat Earth map. Oh, no. Oh, no. Not that kind of flat Earth map. I mean, the kind the USGS uses. Well, that doesn't help it any. Oh, I mean, a standard flat map. But what I did show you and what I stand by is that the plate shapes and these cymatic shapes, I think someone in the past had the ability to manipulate those. I can't prove that yet, other than to show you what I'm finding and the chances of these things all being chance. I mean, if one or two of them were there, I mean, you'd say it's chance, but man, we can go place to place to place. And then I keep finding earthquakes below the tips of each one of these things, topping it all off, earthquakes striking at the tips and on the sides of them. That's what drew my eye to them. Oh man, what a cluster of information. Because I mean, where do you go with it? You can't, nobody's gonna believe it. You can't really do anything about it. It's like when I found all the Google's people, cartographers played a joke on the world over the course of several years. And they worked in the most famous animals for each continent into the topography coloring of the planet. And it's not just Google, it's lots of different books and everything. The cartographers have a little conspiracy, if you want to call it that, but it's a way of signing a map, from what I understood. So when a cartographer or master cartographer and secret societies get involved in this, they chose the most dominant and well-known animal for each continent to be included in the topography coloring of the continent. So South America is a perfect example. South America is known for uh, pythons, right? Pythons, and they're known for the Galapagos turtle. And the Galapagos Islands are out here, just in case you don't know. These are the Galapagos Islands where the Galapagos turtle comes from. And the pythons come from the rainforest here in the Amazon and North Amazon and French Guiana. Now, this matters because they work both the python head and the tortoise head into the coloring of South America with that eye. And this is the python head. And if you back it out a little bit, this is the tortoise head. And the tortoise head comes back to a neck that they've shaded and colored. And the neck connects to the Galapagos Island where the tortoise comes from. So the python head is over where the python comes from. And the tortoise head points back to, like a neck, literally back to Galapagos Island. Now, you might say, you're just seeing shapes of that. No, it's every continent. And it's well standing out when you know what to look for. So we're going to look at Africa next. And the green here, the outline of the green, and this here, where my mouse is, let me make sure you guys can see on this, where my mouse is here, and this down here. So this is a giant gorilla. This is the outline of his body. This is his head. Here are his eyes. Here, I'm not joking. Here's his belly and a belly button, and his two close together eyes, somewhat close together, and the outline of the body and the shape of the snout, if you want to call it that, or his front of his face and the more like gorilla-like face. And this is into the plate itself. They've shaded this way to be there. So we have the gorilla from Africa, and they put the gorilla over Africa. We have the python from the Amazon, and they put the python over the Amazon. We have the Galapagos turtle, and it points back to the Galapagos Islands. Let's carry on, because they did it in the Mideast. They created a jackal head, or is that the hyena? Hold on, no, it's a jackal. The jackal head, and it almost looks like a Chihuahua dog, but it's the jackal head. It definitely is. It's been worked into here with the two ears and the eyes and the nose, and that's specific to that location. But there's definitely more. This is the one that really slam dunks it on somebody really putting this in here, is India. India has worked in an elephant head to India with an eye right here, two ears, and the elephant snout or trunk going down here all the way to the coast. And it's the Ganesh elephant. So it's not just any kind of elephant, it is the Ganesh version of the elephant. The elephant head is there. They did it with Australia and put a koala bear. A koala bear, you have to back it out to see it. It's got the bear face with the ears. And we go to the United States, where they did a large deer head of a North American standard deer. You can see it. And they did a moose over Canada, where the moose antlers go around the Hudson Bay, and they've got the head of the moose there with its nubs on the top and the two antlers of the moose. Here, let me zoom in a little. There we go. So they got the moose. Maybe I need to back it out for you. There you go. So they got the moose, and then we've got the deer, and the deer snout goes down here. The eye of the deer is there. The antler of the deer goes up here to the northeast. That's every continent, guys, with the most predominant animal that it's known for. Moose, deer, python, tortoise, gorilla. You could say hyena or jackal, but it's definitely one of, I'd say it's, again, the jackal. Or I'm sorry, the hyena. No, it's the jackal. Is that the hyena or the jackal? I need to get that right. It's the jackal. Some people are saying hyena. All right, maybe I got it backwards. And there's more. The bear in Russia. Hold on. There we go. So they worked in other things, the bear in Russia and the dragon. This one's going to blow your mind. Here's Europe. These are the Swiss Alps here. And in Eastern Europe, in Romania, they worked in the dragon with the dragon's hand and the head of the dragon with its mouth out and the snout, the dragon, in Romania, where their symbol is the dragon. And then they also worked in the pyramid And at the center of the pyramid, this is Bavaria, the Bavarian Illuminati. You see the mountains, right? It's making the triangle shape. These are the Swiss Alps. I'm not kidding. Wait do you see what's at the very center of this. This is going to blow your mind. Here's Germany. Look what's at the center of the triangle. Nuremberg. At the center of Bavaria, where the Illuminati are from. The Illuminati Bavaria. So this is built into the plate. You see it very far away, but they shaded this so that it would be there. I'm not joking. Not joking. We're not seeing shapes, guys. That's really there. They really shaded that. I mean, this is really Google Earth. I didn't put these on here. I'm not like willfully seeing shapes. They really did put a koala bear into, and do you need to look at it upside down? In this way, you see the Doge dog, right? Okay, no, but in this way, really, the way you're supposed to look at it, and they're hidden. And I'm sure there's more that I'm missing. There's got to be more. There's got to be more in here that I'm missing. It's probably down to the country basis. Like, for instance, again, I mean, some people were telling me that they saw, they were trying to figure out what was here in Iran. And I couldn't, I thought maybe you could work a camel shape into this, no problem, right? But I couldn't find anything through here in the Mideast at all, unless I just was just not seeing it. I mean, which way would you look at it, right? What animal are they known for? They're not. The camel is the only thing they're known for in that location across here. And I do not see, unless you guys see a camel in here somewhere that I'm somehow missing, this would be one of the spots where we don't have anything worked in, at least as far as I know. But if they work that kind of stuff in, there's got to be more. I mean, come on, look at now that you know what to look for, the giant gorilla that makes up half of Africa was shaded in there on purpose, and they includingly put in a large belly with belly button for shading. This is done with coloring, so they're not changing any of the topography, so they're not cheating on any of the maps. It's on the color shading, the way you would shade a mountain. It's like an airbrusher came in and added these in as a little wink. Here's the eye, and what's at the eye? As far as I can see, nothing. No pun intended. But they certainly worked the elephant head into India, and they certainly worked the gorilla into south part of Africa. And South America certainly has two different animal heads worked into one. And North America has the moose and the deer. I don't know. I mean, the bear over in Russia is, again, you would have to look at it sideways. The head of the bear up in Siberia, up here, the head of the bear and the body of the bear is going down this way. Again, you have to turn it sideways to see it. Some of these you have to turn sideways, like this one, but a cartographer's trick, a wink of putting something in a map that you're not supposed to know to look for unless you're in on the trick. What would be in China, right? You would think the Chinese dragon. I mean, that's what you would think. The only thing, oh, wait, hold on. Carp, carp, Japanese and Chinese carps. Yeah. Well, yeah. No. I mean, I understand. Yeah, no, but I was reading chat. So saying, hold on. Yeah, carp, that's for more Japan up here, usually, but there are Chinese carp. Like the Chinese do eat carp, but it's not like you're known for that over there. Yeah, I would think Chinese dragon. But as far as I know, no dragon showing out of China. Let's see. Boy, and we're not trying to do pareidolia. I mean, again, it's like when you see shapes in clouds or something, that's one thing. But when it's specific to the continent, I didn't go looking for this. I saw that this led back to the Galapagos. I was joking. I was like, oh, it looks like a Galapagos head going back to the Galapagos island within it. And then I thought, oh, wait, that also looks like a python head. And I thought, what are the chances that that would go back to the Galapagos and it would look like a python? And they're both in the same location. I thought, maybe I should go look at. I did this live. I didn't do this on my own. I literally did this live. I made the discovery live one day when we were looking. I go, let's go look at the other continents, see if there's anything that would stand out. And I looked and I thought, wait, hold on, no way. And then it just went boom, boom, boom. And when we got to here, and the elephant is just there, so blatantly obvious, the elephant is there and India with the elephant stuff. I mean, with Ganesh. Oh boy, that opens a can of worms. And then when I saw the koala bear down here, I'm like, oh God, really? I mean, it's so obvious now that you know what to look for. It's like, so what are the others, right? Like, where are the others? What are the others? We'll find them. We will. We'll find them. The dragon in Europe is just mind blowing because it's over the Romanian. This here, they deliberately did it. I mean, this is the eye. Look at it. Look at it. Come on, man. Come on, man. That's shaded on purpose that way. And then look, it's obvious. And with the Illuminati, with this, tisk tisk, guys. Tisk tisk. Let's turn our borders and labels back on one more time. Nordlingen and Nuremberg. That's what's there. Rotenburg de Tauber is the northern part. Southernmost part is Nordlingen, Nord, and Nuremberg. Oh, look, wait. They even worked in the eye to the center. Hold on. They really did. At least part of it. They sure did. There's no way the topography is just doing that by chance, guys. No freaking way. No, that's shaded on purpose that way. They did it on purpose. Did it on purpose. Okay, all right. Yeah. How did I find it? Luck. Luck and chance. Luck and chance. Kind of like I found this by luck and chance. I found the Loch Ness Monster. Here's Loch Ness. There we go. The Jacobite Loch Ness Crucis. Loch End. And here's the River Ness, and it goes right down to Inverness and goes out to the bay here. And right at the bay is this. The giant dragon head shaped star fort that comes down to Fort George Church, where St. George slayed the dragon and so forth. But the Loch Ness Monster, that's the giant serpent next to Loch Ness that everyone forgot about for 300 years. And man, now I just saw a video on X. Somebody sent it to me. Tourists went to this place, and now people know about it being a dragon head. The tourist recorded a video, and he's with his wife, and they're looking at it. They're here inside of the middle of this place, and there's a statue apparently somewhere here in the courtyard. I don't know exactly where, of the fort. It's a small statue that's like a replica of the fort that you can look at. And the guy says, did you know it's in the shape of a dragon's head? And she's standing there at the other end. She's looking at it like this, like everybody else looks at it, like all the textbooks in history show it, like this. And they used to say, up until I found that it was in the shape of a dragon's head, that it was in the shape of a star. And she's looking at it like this. She goes, what? And he goes, yep, shape of a dragon's head. And then he made her walk around to the other side. And she's like, whoa. And that's not a matter of perspective. We can look straight down on it. Same thing. It was missed for 300 years. It's a museum now. It's Special Forces based too for the Special Forces, the Black Watch in the UK. But that's a weird discovery that I made one day. And when I told everybody, the response was to freak out on me and tell me to delete my video. And Children of the Corn level cult stuff going on, man. People trying to get me to gaslight me and shut it down. And you didn't find anything, Dutch. That's just randomly in that shape. That's not the shape of a dragon's head. You just want to see shapes. That's what they told me. Seriously. I'm like, no, I don't know if no, that's not pareidolia, guys. This is really a dragon's head. And it's called Fort George, St. George slayed the dragon. And in that church right there at the tip of the snout of the dragon, they got a stained glass of St. George slaying the dragon, sticking the spear into his head. So, yeah, it was hidden for 300 years. But why? Secret society stuff, man. The Antichrist lives there. I totally doxed the Antichrist. He had to move. I found their base. I guess that's technically capturing the flag. And that's not that people don't like that. You capture the flag unwillingly, you come walking in just by chance. You walk in and they're like, what's this flag right here? You just pick it up. I'm out of here. Bye. They're like, Dutch. I'm like, what? What? Okay. Enough. What time is it? 11:30 p.m. Central Time.